Hey
guys. Welcome back to the Why Not Us podcast with your co-hosts Seneca and Rahmere.
Yep.
And we are back. And thank you for keep coming back. So we just want to continue just to say that and get that out the way first.
No, for sure. We definitely appreciate y'all continue to tune in, continue to watch, continue to share. Like sometimes it's crazy because we do this and then we just be like that. People like asking us about the podcast and people like, oh, like, can I come on or can I? It's kind of crazy. Like it started from like a thought that we postponed for forever.
I know. So, we had an outline and now here we are. So if you're not familiar with us, make sure to, number one, subscribe, give us a like, make sure you comment down below, how you think we're doing, what can we do better of. We're really open to, suggestions and things like that. So let's first lead off by just talking about our highs and our lows.
Okay.
For this week.
Okay. All right. So my low is I don't have a low.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Nice.
I think I'm doing
good not to have a low.
Yeah, I'm doing good. I ain't gonna lie. My high, it might sound a little cheesy, but my high is kind of reminiscent of what I just said.
Okay.
I feel like we're kind of getting into a rhythm and a pattern on this show. I'm not even gonna lie. Like we meet up, we film our episodes, and like we got an editing system. We got like a look, how we want the reels to look. We got like the clips, the snippets, the icon in the eyes, and sometimes the final fives make it on social. Like we got a whole little system, and it's crazy. So cool. It makes me kind of like proud just to see our progress and just like these short amount of episodes we done, but still like they're getting done. They're getting better each time, and just our end product is pretty cool. So that's my high. It's a little cheesy, but like
no, that's a good high. It's reflective.
Yeah.
So my low, I actually don't have a low. I'm just like you.
Okay, vibes.
But definitely my high would just kind of be the word of like newness. New year, new hope, new prosperity, new episodes, new guests.
New episodes.
I'm really excited for a lot of newness of this year. Exactly.
New vibes.
So that thought alone makes me really, really happy, and it that's why it's my high. It makes me really like want to look forward to like something, each and every time, whether it's, and that doesn't mean that every day something is going to be new. It's just like, being open. So that's my high.
I like that.
Thanks.
I like with that.
Appreciate it. So do we want to now get into our icon of the eyes?
You know what? Let's get into our icon of the eyes. I ain't even gonna lie.
Let's get
into our icon of the eyes.
I forget. Did I start last time or did you?
I think in the last episode I started.
Okay.
And you did the final five, so that's we fair. Can swap.
I'll swap. So my icon of the eye goes to musician.
Okay.
No surprise.
Let me guess. No surprise? I don't want to guess. Go ahead. I thought it was weird.
Billie Eilish.
Okay.
So I love Billie. She is so cool. Not only that she's just a cool musician. To me, she's my icon of the eye because I feel like these past couple of months, I have just been looking into her artistry, like behind her art, like what it takes for us to actually get that music, for her to get those live performances, the art, like the whole behind the scenes process. And that is what I'm interested in. You could tell she's an artist that definitely is delicate with her art, with her music. She takes her time. She's really into musicalities. Like you could tell she's really, really learned her music and studied the greats. And her voice is like such a jazzy voice. And you could tell from like when she was like 16, playing like, singing Ocean Eyes to all the way to now, with like Birds of a Feather and, all those sort of things. And even the song from the Barbie movie. I recently watched a clip on YouTube with her and her brother Phineas, and they did a whole breakdown of that song process. And that to me was such a fascinating thing to learn. Not just the inspiration, but actually what it takes, the hard days. And they were talking about they hit the studio and they had nothing to even write about one day.
Yeah.
And that was relatable to me because there's so many times where as a creative, you have nothing to give off. So it really amazes me how she's such at a young age, she's still able to be gentle with her art, but also really intentional with her art. So that's why she's my icon of the eye. I just love her musicality and her artistry.
I like that because I feel like she's one of the few like artist who is definitely like loves the art.
Yeah.
Like I feel like, you know, it could be easy, especially as a singer, to like you can be good at singing, but like it's in it for like the money or like in it, and the label just runs everything they do, and it's just a hamster wheel. It's just their job. I personally feel like she might be someone who definitely enjoys the process and like enjoys just like what she does, and like I don't know the chick, but like you know what I'm saying. But I'm just saying it just feels like she's a super creative person. And it definitely shows in her end result.
Yeah,
so,
and you can tell she doesn't want to be inside of a box. She doesn't want to be closed in. So that's really another thing what I like the most about it. So shout out to you, Billie. I love, you know, your musicality, your artistry, your whole vibe, your whole style is really dope. So that's my icon, Billie Eilish.
Fire. Shout out to Billie. My icon and the eye for me is somebody else I've seen on Instagram. Now, I don't know them, but I've seen their work and I've seen like the things that they do. Is Amore. Okay. She's like a Philly based like fashion designer. Okay, and speaking of like what you said, you was like someone who like is really into the artistry. Yeah. I seen like some of her pieces, like she names them and probably has like a story behind them, and just like just the entire process. Somebody I feel like who definitely enjoys what they do. Yeah. And I'm like, I think people have wore her pieces in shows before. Wow. And like she's like constantly posting reels and like behind the scenes. And I just think like I said, another person I don't know, but like they give off like a truly humble person. And like I've seen like clips of her video, her testimony, or the things like that, and it's just like, oh wow, it's really cool to see someone genuine in their art who was super talented, right? But still like a person and still like yo, this is still just me, right? Like, so it's super cool, and like that's my icon and eye.
I love that. I love number one that is Billie based.
Yeah,
like,
for
you
sure.
know, we can never get too far back from home, and it's so important to like big up the big artists, but also the ones that are just in our community right here, you know, and see their journey, see where they've come from, and to see where they are now. I think that's incredible, and shout out to you.
No, for sure. I think she like gives back to the kids or like speaks to the kids and everything like that. And somebody like still young, right, and helping other young people. I think that's
and pay it forward. That's super beautiful. That's super important. I love that.
No, all right. So now we're about to dive into our main topic time, and this particular episode, we are going to talk about: is it a hobby, is it your passion, or is it a phase? You know. I think a lot of artists and creators, or people who create, because I guess there's a difference, right? Find themselves dipping and dabbling in different mediums or different creative fields for a moment, for a time being. They might find it as their passion, they might find it as their life calling. So we're really going to dive into this and figure out like, what is it? Is it a moment? Is it a passion? Is it a phase? Is it actually your life calling?
What is it?
Is it just a hobby? And like kind of like dive into those things. Because I know y'all be seeing like people who just find it cool to pick up a camera every once in a while just because other people are doing it. Yeah. And like, what does that mean? Like, is it wrong for us to say like, oh yeah, bro, it's just a phase, bro? Listen, maybe they actually got found a passion, right? You don't know. Maybe that's how they get into it. So we're really going to like, we'll dive into that a little bit.
Listen, I don't even know if you can recall it. I have for so many years had this same like thought process. And for a moment in time, I thought maybe I was just a little bitter, or maybe just a little shell-shocked by the new wave and the new generation of how things go in the creative space. But, you know, I always had an issue, I guess, with people, like you just said, picking up a camera because it's on trend or someone else is doing it or their friends doing it without really, I guess, necessarily having the skill, the desire, or the passion to do it. But I guess with that, I've learned that times are different, right? You know, we have so many different mediums, so many different socials out, so many ways to do things that have kind of been a little more open. opposed to like closed-minded to that notion. So I don't know what do you think that people. What do you think that it interests people? Is it the thing? Is it the people behind the thing? Or is it just wanting just to do random things just because they can?
I want to say it's a bit of the last part, just doing it because they can. Interesting, this like the regular person with no, not to sound mean, like no talent.
Okay.
Or like no passion, right?
Passion.
I feel like it's just something to do. But I think they're mainly interested in the route. It's the way that they can get to their goals, right? Really, it's the way that they can become famous. It's the way they can make money.
Right.
Like, I can make money, and all I gotta do is just hold a camera up to my face and just talk about nothing, and just follow a camera, like do vlogs all the time. I can make money off of that.
Yeah.
Oh my god, yeah, let me sign up, let me do that. Like, I feel like people see that route and they're like, "Yo, that's super easy.
It looks super easy.
Why don't I just do it?" Like,
right.
Yeah, I think that's the first thing people see is the route. It just seems like, oh, that seems definitely doable.
Yeah, it seems doable and easy.
And I think that's what people like gravitate towards when they just pick up a camera. I'm gonna be a YouTuber. Just wake up one day. And not saying, so that's the tricky part. I'm not saying that your passion cannot strike you out of nowhere.
Right.
So I think we really just need to dissect the difference between phase, passion, hobby, right? So like, what's something that's like a phase, or if you can give an example for you that was a phase, or how would you define a phase in a creative space?
Okay, so a phase, if I just look at the word phase, to me it's just kind of like what's in the hot spot.
Yeah.
What's popular, like what's on fire now. Like, so like music, right? Music's a phase, or like certain fads, fashion, jewelry, hairstyles. And it's just something that you're doing or you're into because you see other people. You see mediums do it, different little things. So that's a phase. You wanting to try something or do something because you see so many of your peers or people on the internet that do it. To me, that's a phase. I don't know if that's a pretty straight definition.
I agree with that. It's definitely like just copying the wave. And just like, it's a fad. Like, podcasting was a phase.
Right.
You making YouTube channels was a phase.
Right.
And then everybody was being SoundCloud rappers. That was a phase, right? Like, you just following the wave. I feel like, and it's not. I feel like there's nothing wrong with that. Just just as long as you know that you're in a phase,
right? Or that you're just trying it, and then they want this. You're trying it just to see what it is, right?
What if they try it out and they're like, "Oh my gosh"?
Then that's different because then you know what that does. That takes extra effort and intention, and that may or may not become a passion-driven thing for you.
Yeah.
So what it really is, once your curiosity peaks, like once your interest peaks that curiosity, it's like, okay, now what? Now what is the next investment?
Right.
What does that look like?
So I feel like I said, a phase is definitely a moment, is a spark, an idea.
Yep.
And I definitely think the ascending order is phase, hobby, passion.
I agree.
I think it's like they take different levels of skill, they take different levels of dedication. A phase doesn't have that much, little to no dedication.
No.
Little to no training, little to no knowledge. Is just a simple interest.
It's just doing it.
Just a simple curiosity, like you said.
Right.
So yeah, I definitely think a phase is just kind of like basic level
and that's
introductory.
Fine.
And then hopefully the phase can spark into a hobby. Now you're doing it regular now. You're doing it, every so often. Now you're doing your YouTube channel and you're like, now you're investing into it a little bit. You know, maybe you got a new camera now. Now you learn how to edit. Now you know what software you want to use. Like, I feel like that's hobby.
Or a musician or any sort of art form, learning that software, learning that thing. You're now more invested, like you just said. You're taking the time out of your day. Once you find yourself taking moments and time out of your day and your energy to learn or do research or, go join a class about something, then you really are investing your time.
Yeah. And it's like, it could still be a hobby.
Yeah, it could still be a hobby.
You can put so much money into something and it's still a hobby.
It's still a hobby. That I think, what do you think that turns the hobby into like a passion or like something that it's like a lifelong dream or something like that?
This maybe a controversial statement.
Okay.
But you said what turns your hobby into a passion?
Right.
I think it comes down to your purpose. And I feel like everyone on earth has a purpose. Everyone has a reason for being. I feel like everyone's purpose is God-given. And I just feel like your purpose is always for other people. Yep. Right? It's not your purpose in life is my purpose in life is to make $3 million for myself to get a house. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't personally believe that's what a purpose is. Purpose is for other people. How do you affect other people? How do you motivate other people? How do you, serve other people? I agree with that for sure. So your purpose is one thing, and I feel like your passion is the avenue which your purpose flows through.
That's right.
I personally feel like that is how it is probably was meant to go. Your purpose and your passion are like one and the same.
They are.
They're like the conduit to another one. So like, however, like I say, my purpose in life is to influence people or motivate people. Right? That's why I feel like my purpose in life is to motivate people, help them feel good, make them feel at home, peaceful, everything like that. And then my passion, how am I bringing that purpose forward?
Absolutely.
So my passion, I'll speak for myself. I like filmmaking. I want to motivate people through my filmmaking.
That's right.
Purpose, passion.
That's right.
So I took my hobby of making skits and YouTube videos and editing, elevated it to like, nah, my passion is this because it aligned with my purpose. I feel like that's how the diagram goes.
I absolutely 100% agree. I don't think that there's any other way to look at that. I mean, it is controversial. So however you want to spin it for you, it works. I believe that for myself as well. And for other people around me, I think that's why, to me, it's good to have like-minded people around you because they can tell you the truth. They can be real with you. They can. Other people also can tell you, like, they can't tell you what this is the hobby is, but, people can see your passion through your eyes, through your voice, through, what you're doing. So it's like, if I know my passion and other people know my passion, then that's my purpose. If my purpose is to do what you were just speaking about, then that has to spark my passion to continue to do it or continue to fight for it. When you have passion, I'm a very passionate person.
The word passion.
I'm so passionate about the word passion. But I have so many passions. And only to me, the right thing is to always look within and to look to me what God made my purpose to be, what he put in me. Like, I love music. I love the arts. I love storytelling. But why do I love these things? I love these things because these gifts and these talents that I have and I possess, they can help people. They could, motivate someone. They could inspire someone. It's all for the better purpose of another person. That's what we all do this for. Yes, we do it because we love it and we understand it and we're skilled at it and we went to school for it. But that's the little boring part about it. But you're right. It's exciting to go, you know what? I helped someone today with my words, or I motivated someone, or I, got this person to understand their gifts and their talents. That's when your hobbies or your fads or your phases, that's how you know whatever you're doing is a passion. When you start to think of it from that side of the box, opposed to, I just like it because it's fun, or I'm doing it because everybody else is doing it, and you're not hungry for it. When you're hungry for something, when you can't sleep, that's all you think about, that's all you want to do, that's all you want to see, that's all it's just in you. That's how you know. In the same way I'm speaking about it, that's how you know you're passionate about something. If you find yourself talking about something in life, and it's like this or like this, you're passionate about something. Just hone in on that and just connect that with your purpose. And I think that can help you, a lot of people out.
And I want to say, I think it's perfectly fine to have hobbies. There's nothing wrong with that.
Oh, I have many hobbies.
Many people, you sound like an auntie.
I have many hobbies.
Many people have so many hobbies, like, maybe like cooking, gardening. YouTube can be your hobby.
Absolutely.
Filmmaking can be your hobby.
Absolutely.
Writing poetry can be your hobby.
Absolutely.
And it's perfectly okay because it doesn't have to be your passion.
No.
You know, you can put money into something and it can still be a hobby.
It's okay.
A lot of people pay for the country clubs to go golfing.
That's
like
right.
they put money into that, and it's like that's their hobby.
That's right.
I feel like if it doesn't align with your purpose, it's a hobby, right? And there's nothing wrong with having hobbies. You could be really, really good at a hobby. How many people you know just play basketball on the weekend just for fun, whatever? They ballers. They're really good. But like,
and you hear people might be like, "Oh, you should try this. You should try that," and they go, "No." And it's like, because that's not their passion. That's not their purpose.
Exactly.
They're just good at something.
They're just good at. Just because you're good at something doesn't mean it has to be your passion.
I believe that a lot.
Now that's another thing.
Can't you say that again?
So like, just because you're good at something doesn't mean it has to be your passion or like your path in life.
Right.
And it's kind of crazy to think about it, because I think as soon as some people find something they're good at, they like chase it wholeheartedly, which you should explore, right?
Yeah, of course.
But you ever realize, I feel like this is another thing that, you know, could be different for everybody else. But you're probably good at something. Let's say me, I'm good at piano, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm really good. I can pick up the notes rather easily. Like, you know, I can compose my own music, everything like that. And I feel like things will only let you get to a certain point.
That's right.
Right? You might feel like, oh yeah, you know, I'm really good at piano. I do recitals, everything like that. But you always feel like it's like you can't get to another level, or there's like a little glass ceiling that you just can't break.
Right.
And it's like, I feel like that's just something stop you, because that's not your purpose. It's not what I have you here for. That's not what you're supposed to be doing.
Right.
And you're probably not really passionate in it. Right? Just because you're good at something doesn't mean you have to be passionate in it. I feel like you can now take that hobby, right? You know, continue to hone in on it, whatever like that, and find your passion. Find your true passion, your true calling. Because I feel like when things are your calling, it'll just come naturally and easily.
Yeah.
I feel like for me, it's crazy because no one told me. I mean, I didn't ever tell myself, like, oh, I want to be a filmmaker when I grow up. No, absolutely not. Never crossed my mind.
Right.
And it's crazy because other people would tell me, or there'll be other like signs that everybody's like, I wanted to go to school to be a journalist.
Right. Same.
So I wanted to go to school to work at somebody's newspaper.
And look where that.
So
I mean, hey.
I wanted to go to school to work at somebody's newspaper. So it's crazy. Like, people would tell me like, hey, like you should make films. And even when I was doing YouTube, my hobby, I was doing YouTube, my hobby, and I was like developing skits, and they were sometimes have scripts and be fully like pretty developed. People would push me. You would push me. Like other mentors would push me and be like, you know what? Why don't you flesh this out? Why don't you turn this into this? Why don't you think about making a film? Why don't you like, you know what I'm saying? And it never crossed my mind. Yeah. And then once it hits you, like, hey, this could be my passion. I think everything else in your life will start to make sense. Yeah. Because I used to write stories as a kid. You can ask my mom. I had a whole like book, spiral book that I was just writing a story. It was like a fantasy dragons or whatever. I was writing stories all in my notebook, and it was like, you know, storytelling. Yeah, storytelling. Absolutely. And it's crazy, like, now things start to make sense once you
that's so true.
Find out what your passion is and what your purpose is.
That's
and
so I can relate to that. Yeah. I too share that a sentiment of like always writing. Always finding myself writing poetry, stories, every like book like things. And my mom would be like, "You're a really creative like kid." Like, you know, she always thought she always knew that I would do something like, you know, in a creative space. But now when it comes full circle, it all makes sense. That's why when someone asks me, you know, what I like, I just say like, I like to storytell. Like I'm just a vessel, you know, whether it's visual, whether it's writing, whether it's whatever, video, editing. I loved it all because it all leads to a story, whether it's my story that I can relate to, whether it's someone else's story I can relate to. And I once heard this quote that sometimes you don't really recognize your gifts because it just comes so easy to you.
Okay.
And, you know, you go like, oh, you're so talented, you're so gifted. And what? Like, you might go like to yourself, like, I'm just doing this. But you're not looking at it knowing like, I'm so talented, I'm so gifted. And other people are like when I edit, people look at me, they go, how do you know how to do this? And I'm like, what? And they're like, Dad. I'm like, oh, that is a skill. That is a talent. And that's how I recognize that things are, special, that other people cannot do. And that's totally okay, because there are other things that people can do that I can't do. But
yeah, for sure. I tell people all the time, I wish I knew how to draw.
Oh my gosh,
I feel like that's such a fire like skill.
That is an amazing
that
skill.
Like,
or painter.
All you need is just the tool, right? A pencil or paintbrush or whatever, and that's it, right? Yeah. Everything else is from your head. That's fire. Your
instrument is literally your hand. That is amazing. Your head.
I think that's so talented to me.
And even earlier when you were talking about your icon of the eye, the fashion designer. Yeah. That is art too, because they have to sketch out those they have to flesh out those ideas. That is something like someone can't just say, oh, I want to make clothes. I mean, they can say, I want to make clothes, but that takes more of like a higher idea and, more cultivating things.
How you know what fabrics go together.
Exactly.
Colors, color theory. Exactly. Yep. You're like, just having that idea in your head and you're like, all right, this is how it's going to look. This is how it's going to wear. Because how it's going to look and how it fits on people is different things, right? Yeah. And this is like the different body types that go on. It's a whole other skill set. Yeah. And it's so crazy that like, to the regular person, they're probably like, or like the regular fashion designer, they're like, oh man, this is fun.
Yeah. But it's like,
what? And we're like, I can't even like process that like thought process.
Language.
It is.
Yeah.
Now I got a question for you. All right. So now we know that phases change. Phases absolutely change.
Right.
Hobbies can change as you get older, as you have less time, more family. Like, hobbies change.
I know the question.
Can your passion change?
Absolutely, it can.
Okay.
Your passion can definitely change because you change. So to me, like, yes, we're a vessel, but vessels can change. And because, yes, it's still the same. Like, you can still serve people. You could still, entertain people. But that can change. That can look different. That could change. That could be, in so many different mediums. So I think as you grow, maybe, your passion maybe when you were 20 was to be a pianist. Now you're maybe 45 and it's to be a baker. Those same purposes at the origin, the basis of the origin of the story is still the same. But your talents or your reason why you want to do something or why you want to thrive in something is changing. And that's okay. That makes you human like the rest of us. That doesn't make you a complete failure in your first passion or your second passion. I don't believe that it's like when someone says like, do you believe, what is the saying they say? Like they go like, oh, you can only have one love. Like, that looks different for everybody. That you don't have to have just one passion. If you have one passion, that's great. But you have many passions like in different lifetimes as you grow, as you mature, as you, come to really who you are, you maybe get more confident. Or it's maybe an old passion that you kind of like rekindle.
Right, dust off and pick back up. Like, why not? You're better, wiser, you have more time now.
Yeah.
I think it's crazy like you said that too, because I agree. I think your passions can change, right? Maybe you're not as passionate about something and it gets downgraded to a hobby.
Right.
Maybe one day filmmaking, my passion right now, might be downgraded to a hobby. Right. Perfectly fine.
Right.
I'll pick up another passion.
Right.
But at the end of the day, my purpose still speaks through that passion.
That's right.
It doesn't matter, like, oh, it's not filmmaking anymore.
Right.
Maybe the plan for my life was from the ages to 20 to 35.
To fulfill
you're going to be a filmmaker.
Yep.
And after that, I'm going to elevate you. Or I'm going to promote you. I'm going to let you do this. I'm going to have you still reach out to people, still affect people through this medium now. And you're going to feel that fire. You're going to feel that passion inside you to reach people this way. You know what I'm saying? Like, who knows? You don't even know. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, and that's why I say, like, don't shy away from hobbies. Do more than just the thing that you want to do. Like, yeah, sure, I want to be a YouTuber and this is what I want to do in my life. But all right, maybe pick up a knitting class. If you really feel like maybe this might be interesting, this might be cool, you don't know, that can turn into a passion and it can be used to just affect masses. Now you have a knitting circle and you're talking to other young men and women about problems and issues and mental health in life while you guys are like in that knitting circle. Like, I know I'm being facetious, but that can work that way.
Listen, that is speaking to me right now so much because I resonate with that, because I've been told so many times, like, okay, this is my purpose now, like filmmaking and creativity and storytelling and things like that. But I've been told by, yourself and, a lot of older people have told me, like, I can see you one day being like a motivational speaker. And at certain times in my life, I'm like, what? Like that's crazy. But it's really not crazy, because I'm really ultimately teaching things to people and telling things to people just through my art. And I do say things in a really pivotal way, in a really personal way. So I really think sometimes years later, we don't always understand what other things could lead to, but it makes sense. It makes sense. It connects. Every dot connects to something bigger. And this is just a smaller way.
And then the funny thing about you too, because for a fact, since a child, you've always had an affinity for words.
Yeah.
Always had an affinity for words, language.
Yeah.
Fire, right? Then, in different phases of your life, I bet you can count on so many instances where people have come to you needing advice, needing help, venting. Just, you don't even ask. You don't even ask, like, what's going on. They just talking to you because they feel like you're, like, a comforting person.
Yeah.
So, it's like, things is lining up for that. you know what I'm saying? It's just, like, I think you have it in you. And it's just crazy, like, now your passion is whatever medium that's going to flow throughout. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So, yeah, passions can change, but like, no way, like, there's no way you can be like, that, man, I'm not passionate about filmmaking anymore. That's it. It's over for me.
Right,
or whatever like that. Like,
no.
At the end of the day, your purpose will still, if you continue to walk in it, your purpose will continue to shine through however it needs to be shined through.
Yep. Now, I love that. It's so motivational.
It is.
And then I don't know, like, can we be a little real for a second?
Go ahead.
Just a little bit. Now, what do we say for anyone who is or who is inspired by creativity?
Mm-hmm.
They do the phase thing, they do the hobby thing, and now they're like in a passion thing, but they're doing it, but I feel like they're doing it and they're thriving off of maybe someone else's passion.
Mm-hmm.
What does that look like? And how do we figure out someone who is truly passionate and someone who's just maybe thriving out of someone else's passion? Maybe it's their parents. Maybe it's, how when you maybe go to school and you're going for your family, but you're not really going for you. And it's not, what do we say to that person, or just to different people about, doing something authentically just for you?
Mm-hmm.
Don't do things off of the thrive of money, off of the thrive of success, off of views, off of family. Like, how does that work? Because they go through the phase, they go through the this, they go through the that. And what do we say to them?
I think the easiest way to tell is if you're like you're just doing it for someone else, or you're just doing it because you're inspired by somebody else or whatever. I feel like the easiest way to tell as you as a person if this is my passion or not, you don't receive anything from it. So what I'm saying that is, like, you don't receive any joy from it. You receive joys from other things.
Right.
So you do not, let's say in the let's example a YouTuber. They don't receive any joy of any process of making that YouTube video. They receive joy from the results. Right. They receive joy from the numbers, from the adoration, from the people talking to them about it. Right. They get prideful. That's where they receive their joy from. And I feel like anyone else who's passionate about music, they receive joy about maybe the writing process or the mixing process or like discovering the cover art or, that whole process. They receive something gives you feel that fire, you feel that joy, you feel that satisfaction. So it don't even matter what they're working on. Like, I just know, like, storytelling and filmmaking, for me, like, I could be working on, like, a boring interview for my job, right? But because I'm editing and I just love editing so much, I just feel a joy, like, of just, like, piecing things together. It doesn't even matter what I'm doing. It's not even for me.
Yeah, it's not.
I just still get a joy out of it because it's like, man, I feel like it feels complete. I feel like I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. What was that movie? with Soul.
Yeah.
When I feel like truly in Soul, I think it showed like the guy and the kid, everyone has like kind of a flow state they get into. And that movie was kind of profound for me. I need to watch it again.
No,
but
that
like,
movie was amazing.
It was great. But like, I feel like once you get into that flow state where it's just like, it's natural and you just kind of zoned in and you just feel like almost you feel full, almost out of body, like a little bit, like you just feel it's just flowing. Everything's going right. Everything, even if it doesn't go right, you still have a peace. It's not really giving you too much stress. You still finding joy in this very stressful, crazy situation. I feel like you're definitely in your passion. If you're not getting any of that, you're not in your passion. You're in an elevated hobby that you just need to, correctly put in the right place. Like it's okay if it's a hobby.
I agree with all that.
Yeah.
You took words. I can't say anymore because you said it all. But I thoroughly enjoy that. And I hope that all of you can take a little bit from everything that we said.
Yeah.
We're not saying that you can't, and we're just two people who have experience, And so take from what you want from us. But I think it's all great. A phase, a hobby, a passion, it all leads in some way, some shape, or form to your purpose.
You need all three.
You need all three.
To get to what you're truly supposed to be.
That's absolutely.
Come on, Ryan.
Come on. That was a great talk.
That was fire.
We both thrived off of that. Clearly.
Like, like you need your face to peek into it a little bit, turn it into a hobby, and then it's just up to if it aligns with your purpose, if it turns into a passion or not.
That's right.
And if it's the right time.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? You can get different passions at different times.
Right time and place.
Simple as that.
Listen.
Enough said.
Okay, we said a lot. So that was definitely our main topic. We are now going to wrap up into our final five. Our final five. So again, if you are not familiar with our final five and how our podcast and how our format works of this show, final five is when we leave you with 5 things to take away from, whether it's from the main topic or just maybe something else. And so we can just kind of wrap it up with a little nice bow at the end.
Yes.
So you want to go?
Yeah, I'll go. My final 5 this week is it's okay just being you. I don't know if I had the just in there.
You got a little stuck. Wait, do it again.
It's okay just being you.
That's 5. That's great. That's great.
I think just to elaborate on that, just you're talking about like people who may be just having hobbies because they see, or just having phases in hobbies just because they see other people doing it, and just like. And that's not what I'm saying. We're not saying that you can't get inspired by anybody.
Absolutely.
Like, sure, maybe we seen somebody do a podcast. We're like, hey, let's get inspired to bring this podcast back.
Let's lock it back down. Yeah,
people get inspired by everyone all the time. And they turn it into a hobby or turn it and then eventually to a passion. I'm just saying it's okay being you because everyone has their own skill set. Everyone has their own background. Everyone has their own like way of doing things that's uniquely them. You can't replicate anybody else. It's not going to feel right. And it's not going to just be the same. Put your own sauce on it.
Yep.
Put your own kind of like vibe to it, and it'll work out. Just a lot of people really say be yourself, and it's kind of an overplayed saying, but it's truly true. Because at the end of the day, you're just going to be yourself, and everything else will fall out, like literally how it's supposed to be. So that's my final thought.
I love that. And people will love you more for being yourself.
Yeah.
It's only one of you.
That's it. It's just only one of you, man. Be yourself.
So my final 5, to be honest, rather similar to yours in a way. Or connects with you, rather.
Okay.
Share what you know widely.
Okay.
So I feel like what you just said, putting your own spin on things because it's only one of you. With that, it's also okay to share your knowledge. And like we're passing on knowledge to you with our experiences. It's also good with the information that you know to don't be afraid to pass a message down to your friend, because I think people always have this, I said it before, like this crab in a barrel mind state where it's like, I can't share my information because it's only meant for me. I can only thrive. And that's not actually true, because if we can both do the same things, but we do it in a different way, and we thrive differently, and we acknowledge it differently, we explore it differently. So I say continue to share what you know with other people. no matter if it's whatever you do out there. So just kind of share your knowledge and with people, widen it, you know, share what you know widely.
Don't be stingy.
Nope.
Like, that's not what you here for.
No,
everybody needs help. Everybody needs some advice. Everybody Yeah,
and I think it pushes you directly into your passion. When you continue to share, that's what it's all about. It's others. So you passing along information, knowledge, skill sets down to others. So that's helpful.
So this has been the Why Not Us podcast. You know, I say this every time and I truly mean it. I really hope you guys got something out of this. I hope you guys have fun listening to us as we have fun and had so much passion sharing with you guys, you know, our thought process and everything that's going on. Firstly, like, you know, follow our socials and follow us at the Why Not Us Pod on Instagram. And I think I want y'all to just, like, you know, let us know what other topics we can talk about, just like in the creative field, like, you know what I'm saying, what things you might be interested in. And then also, let us know if you want to come up on a podcast. You know what I'm saying? We're open to guests. We're open to just have creative, constructive conversations with some brilliant creatives and who enjoy the process as much as us. Like, I'm down. Sam's down.
Yeah, we're down.
Come on down.
Listen, we can all continue to learn from each other, right?
We all.
So make sure just to give this video a like, comment below, and share with your friends. Tell a friend and tell a friend. And once again, for Creatives by Creatives. Bye.
See you later.